you have trouble, how do you deal with it, and how does your team deal with it? Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Carnegie Training here in Japan. I'm the author of Japan Sales Mastery. We're broadcasting from our high performance center in Akasaki in Minato-ku, the very business center of Tokyo. Trouble happens. Actually, yesterday, a multi-million-dollar deal went down. That hurt. Trust me, that hurt. And, okay, some people are quite resilient and they can just brush it off and they can just keep going forward. And that's great. That's terrific to see that. But then again, there are other people in the team who aren't that resilient, and it gets them down. Maybe it gets you down. Maybe you're depressed. Things were going to happen as a result of that deal or that project coming online or a decision being taken is now at risk or won't happen at all. And you start to dwell on that. It impacts our confidence. It impacts how robust we feel in ourselves. It impacts how happy we are in our work. It impacts how we think about the future. And often, like a lot of things, when you have something go wrong, suddenly all these other things that are not working well for you start to bubble up and start to worry you. Things you just sort of suppressed, suddenly out they come. And your mind starts to really rocket along basically a negative path. It's not the right path to go. Very hard to stop that. So when things do go wrong, when things don't happen as they're supposed to happen, what can we do? Well, here's a 3-step method, very, very simple. First of all, prepare to understand what is actually happening. What is the problem? Clarify it. What is actually the issue? What is actually the trouble we're facing? Right? Get that very clear, because often when we're concerned, we're stressed, we get a bit fuzzy around what that problem is. There's sort of all sorts of other problems start to jump in there, and we start to go around in circles in our mind. What is the problem? What is the worst that can happen? And be very clear about that. What is the worst that can happen? What's the absolute last thing you want to have happen? What is it? Call it out. This is key. Write it down. That's for clarity. From fuzzy brain to clear in writing. Clarify it. Call it out. What is the worst that can happen? Now, that's often the hardest thing to do, because often we don't want to face that. We're trying to ignore it. We're not trying to think about it. Think about it. What's the absolute? And go to the extreme. What is the worst that can happen? The absolute worst. Get that out. Now, secondly, this is a very key step. Prepare for the worst. Say to yourself, okay, that's the worst thing that's happened, and it is going to happen. This will become a reality. Starting to prepare ourselves, our resilience, for accepting the inevitable. Can't change it, can't fix it. It's going to happen. This thing is not, that deal is done. It's not coming back. This $2 million just went straight out the window. It's not coming back. Done. Accept that. Prepare that that won't happen. That income will not turn up. That project will not happen on time or happen at all. That job promotion not going to come. That salary increase is not going to come. That bonus not going to come. Whatever it might be. Prepare that it will actually happen. This is reality. Now, this is part of getting a grip on the problem. What's the worst can happen? Prepare for the worst. Mentally say, okay, that's going to happen. It will happen. Stop kidding myself. It's going to be bad. Okay. Third step, try and improve on the worst that can happen. So we take the extreme of what's the absolute worst can happen. We're prepared to accept that. Now we try and get our mind set back into positive gear. Okay, how can I improve? Even if it's only slightly, how can I improve on the worst? Now that might even just be learning from that. It might be trying to create some time, so maybe it could be rescued. It might be coming up with an alternative. It might be suggesting something else that might work to the buyer or whoever has rejected your deal. There could be any number of things. Now, once we start thinking about how can I improve on that, we start to recover our equilibrium, we start to get on the front foot, and we're starting thinking in a positive mode. Because up until now, the worst that's going to happen is killing us, negativity. Switch it to positivity. Okay, how can I improve on that? And maybe you can't fix it completely. Hey, deal's done, it's done, it's not going to happen. But maybe you can improve on that by getting another deal. Maybe you can improve on that by going and making another call, or making that call back to a client, or chasing up a client. Or maybe it can be working harder to get that promotion, or maybe it can be putting in a bigger effort to be recognised and get a bigger bonus, or whatever it might be. There are things available to us to improve on that situation. We're not 100% zero here, but we've got to get our mind to go forward. And the trouble is, when we're facing the worst situation, we tend to be in negative mode, and then we're not thinking positively about what's possible. We're thinking totally what's not possible, and we just keep going like that, and we're sort of stuck, basically. We're immobilised. We've got to go forward. We've got to flip it. We've got to change our mindset and say, okay, this is going to happen. I can't do anything about it. I'm prepared for it. Now, what can I do to get around that? What can I do to improve on that? How can I get my mindset back into positive mode? And if we do that, and if we help our team members do that, and this is very critical, help our team members do that too, then we will have a much more successful workplace, and we will do better in our business.